the rest of my Bible, I might say. I could also change my name to Melting, because it's so bloody hot up here. So I'm not actually from Taunton, but I do live here, and I moved down here about 9 years ago from Manchester. And when we first moved down here, lots of people gave us lots of advice about choosing places to live. And they said choose places with a good school next to them. And that's quite different from where I used to live in Manchester, because we used to choose places with a good correctional facility, because we wanted to control the local kids. And my job was based down near Bridgewater when I first moved down there. And we looked at Bridgewater as a place to live. And it was quite similar. It reminded me a lot of where I used to live in Manchester. And this thing about a gardening programme popped into my head when I was there. I was watching this gardening programme one day and it said, we're going to have terrible trouble with aphids this year because some of them, when they have kids, they're already pregnant again. And I thought, oh, wow. Some of the people around here that could identify with that, I reckon. But we also looked at Glastonbury as a place to live because of the Mystic Area, we like a festival. And we thought we could get them Sunday tickets if we lived in Glastonbury. And we went over there for the day to see what it was like, because we'd never been before. And there's a lot of people in Glastonbury with no shoes, you know. I couldn't believe it. They live so near the street, they've got no shoes. And they're quite shouty, some of them. They stand on street corners, you know, shouting at you, which was a bit odd for me. But when I was looking around Glastonbury, I kept thinking, like, where do people buy bread and milk from around here? Because you can get a wizard's cake, some tarot cards and a crystal ball. I don't know where they do the normal shopping. So we thought we'd have some breakfast and think about it. And I can tell you what, the mushrooms were brilliant. And then we decided, no, we like Taunton. And we like Taunton because we thought there's two kinds of people that seem to be in Taunton. There was like posh people and normal people, ordinary people, of which we identify with. And you can tell that, you know, because when you're on the high street in Taunton, you've got Iceland and a Rolex shop. That's how you know there's them two groups of people in Taunton. I don't know who's shopping in there. Anyone here shopping in the Rolex shop recently? Now, there must be a great demand for it. It's huge. Have you seen the size of it? Anyway, so we thought it's a very nice place to live. Taunton. And if you're really posh in Taunton, you live in Cove, don't you? Cove. And if you're really, really posh, you live in Far Cove. Sorry, just had to put that on in there. And we went to the pub, we thought we'd try out our local pub. And we went in there, and there was this guy playing some cracking tunes. I couldn't understand it though, because we had a really good tune and he'd take it off halfway through. We were like, that's a bit strange. My husband was a DJ in Manchester and I was like, you could get a job in here, this guy keeps changing the records halfway through. And after he'd done this 10 times, his voice went, and that's the end of the music round. And we thought, after we moved down there, we thought, we ought to integrate a bit with the local community, shouldn't we? So I set up doing some volunteering and I joined the Guide Dogs Association, and it's a charity that's close to my heart. And we do all sorts of things. Some of you in Taunton might have shopped in our pop-up charity shop that we have leading up to Christmas every year, and we do the Somerset County Show, and we do bucket collections in the supermarkets. And sometimes we're volunteering all weekend. And I went into work after I'd been volunteering all weekend, and somebody said, oh, what were you doing at the weekend? I said, oh, I've been out guide dogging all weekend. One of them at work went, I don't think you have, love. Go on then, guide dogging, how does that work? What are you like, audio descriptions? I said, oh, I mean, thank God I'm not doing Braille, eh? I mean, how would that work? And I said, no, it doesn't work like that. I said, I just stand there in the entrance, and I've got a bucket, and I ask for contributions from people. But when you work with blind people, they tell you all the stupid comments that they have from people, and the one that really got me was, so is that your guide dog? Yeah, that's my guide dog. Is it blind? No, love, because that's the blind leading the blind, isn't it? That's obviously where the phrase comes from. So when I moved down there as well, the geography of the southwest not that great. And I'd apply for gigs, comedy gigs, and I'd go all sorts of places. And they had quite a bit going on in Plymouth, and that's basically straight down the M5, isn't it? And I was quite comfortable with Plymouth. Then someone offered me a gig in Falmouth, and I thought, well, Falmouth must be near Plymouth. It's fucking miles away. It's miles. It's like the other end of Britain. It's on a tiny bit of land sticking out of the end of Britain. I drove for 3 hours in the dark. There was nothing on either side of the road for 3 hours. It was rush hour. I passed 2 tractors all the way there. So I'm not doing that again. I've got a map now. What else can I tell you about myself? So I used to run call centres for a living when I was up north in Manchester, and I used to run a call centre for a cosmetic surgery company. And you know, we had a free phone number, we deal with rude parts of the body, and we used to have some regular perverts that used to phone us up all the time, obviously. And we had this one guy who was absolutely obsessed with all over body hair waxing, which we didn't even do. I mean, I don't even know why he was phoning us up. And then we had another guy that we lovingly nicknamed Tan Tights Man, because he used to ask what we were wearing all the time, and you could talk to him for hours, right? You could say all sorts of things, but the minute you went, and I've got my tan tights on, that was it, he was off. But normally, people used to phone up with just ordinary questions, you know, like how much is a boob job, or how much is the liposuction, and you go, well, it's like £5 for a boob job. And they say, is that the price just for one? And you'd say, no, look, it's buy one, get one free this week, isn't it? I mean, can you imagine if we did them one at a time? It'd be fucking ridiculous, wouldn't it? There'd be women going around in circles for days until they got the other one done. I mean, could you imagine if they went swimming? Anyway, let's not go there. And these days, when people talk about cosmetic surgery, they always say, make sure you go somewhere reputable, and they're members of a professional association. And we was members of a professional association, the British Association of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons, or BAPS. Kind of loses its credibility for me when you can shorten it to BAPS. But the thing that I was most fascinated with about cosmetic surgery is, you know, you can have it done on finance. So I've got my car on a PCP, so I don't really own that, even though I pay for it every month. And I've got a mortgage on my house, so apparently I don't really own that either. But how can you not own parts of your own body? I mean, how does that even work? Our jobs are not safe. We don't live in safe, secure times, do we? So you have your boob job or your liposuction on finance, and you lose your job. What happens if you can't make your repayments? Repossession? Anybody? Does somebody break into your house in the middle of the night and just crawl up the stairs, commando style, into your bedroom and pop one boob as a warning, eh? You're there, even on the photocopier at work, and somebody crawls along and injects your fat back into your ass. Just one cheek though. Oh, alright. And people, like couples these days, they pay for all sorts of things for each other, don't they? So your other half pays for your boob job and you split up. Who gets custody of the boobs? Okay? Does he get visitation rights? Once every 2 weeks he comes along, alright love, I was squeeze on them, keep them pert, I'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Nobody can explain it to me. But what I find absolutely staggering is that as a nation, we spend more money on cosmetic surgery than we spend on Alzheimer's research, which is really fucking scary, isn't it? Yeah. And that means that in 30 years' time, there's going to be a load of old people in nursing homes with pert boobs and hard-ons and no fucking idea what to do with it. Thank you very much, I've been